My whole life, I have been genuinely misunderstood. And this is not a complaint or anything, by the way. This is just the reality of the life that I've lived. And maybe it's my fault. For whatever reason, I come across to a lot of people as mean spirited, harsh, arrogant. I'm not entirely sure, but if you speak to the people who are close to me, they would probably not give you that opinion of me. Maybe they might tell you I'm a little arrogant. I can be condescending, especially when it's about a topic I know about. I will not shy away from that. And I want to talk about a video that Dr. Bonehead made because I think it's a really good video. It's called "Why Am I Not Critical About Tower of God?" Because there's a part of that video that he touches on that I think is missed when we speak about content creators and the way that they go about critiquing or speaking about certain things that they like. And it's the human element of that person, their personality, how they were raised, socialized, the things that they believe in and care about, their goals and aspiration, who they are from a personality standpoint, mentally, and all those things. So he kind of spoke about just who he is in general. And he's just not a scathing person in a general sense when it comes to most things. And I have friends like that who just enjoy most movies, most music, most things. They're not really like critical. They're just kind of like, no, it was cool, it was good. And maybe here and there they might tell you they don't like something. And I think that's totally fine. That makes sense to me. But me and Dr. Bonehead are not the same person.
Nani?
So I actually reacted to the video. So I want you guys to see the reaction, and then I'll come back here on this screen to kind of just give you the end of my spiel, my second lap, so to speak. But I didn't disagree with anything he was saying. I wasn't reacting to disagree or agree with him. I just genuinely wanted to see what the man had to say about it. So let's hop right in. 忍びじゃなくてジャマイカボーイフドで育った making noise 四六時中かかってこい It don't matter though Young nigga from Canada Brought from that bullshit and go like a matador 行けたら行くわ毎日俺のゴールへかき出す
Okay, here we go. Let me start off by saying that I think it's pretty obvious if you've seen my content that I'm someone who is pretty optimistic when it comes to Tower of God. I like to talk about the positives.
There's nothing wrong with that, by
And
the way.
usually if I hear someone else like critiquing a part of Tower of God, or maybe like saying that something shouldn't have happened or should have been done differently, I like to usually come to Tower of God's defense.
And to be transparent, I want to be very transparent and authentic in this video. Not that I'm not in others. I was like this once upon a time. If you spoke bad about One Piece on Twitter, my cape was flowing in the wind. You had something bad to say about Monogatari, Kingdom Hearts when I really like Kingdom Hearts, or like Danganronpa when I like Danganronpa, cape in the wind. Who are you? I came to my series defense. So I want to be transparent. I've done this.
Someone who is very pro Tower of God, pro SIU in like 99% of the scenario. And I would say that a lot of people have that opinion about me, and for the most part, that's honestly true. I love Tower of God, and I think it's pretty natural for if someone likes a series so much and they have an entire like community and channel and so many memories associated with this story, you're gonna want to defend it. You're gonna want to talk about the positive aspects. However, I also want to talk about this idea because
That's fair.
do think some people maybe don't have the right understanding of why I'm like this. And I'm not like upset or anything. I've always heard these comments, and honestly, I think it's kind of funny. I saw one recently where it was like something about the fact that like, oh, Joe can't talk bad about Tower of God because Webtoon's gonna be upset. And that to me, like honestly,
I think that was a comment. Was that a comment of my video? I think I've seen that before. That might have been a comment from one of my videos. And generally speaking, sometimes people will comment in the comment section and say something about Dr. Bonehead or whatever. And I'm very pro free speech. That doesn't mean that we won't clown you or react to it. But if anyone's defaming him or defaming you, Joe, if you're seeing this, I will defend you or I'll tell them it's not true. But I don't want to tell people what they can and can't say about a creator because trust me, people say some crazy things about me, to me. You'd be surprised.
I wish that was the case. Like, come on, that'd be awesome. It makes me feel like I'm something important to Tower. Like, if I don't talk good about Tower of God, the whole like comic's gonna fail or something. I think that's
like it kind of reminds me like back in like my like super pro defend One Piece at all cost era, where it was like you fear the rise of other shonen manga because blah blah blah. I'm like, am I getting paid by Oda to do this? Like, I don't get paid. He doesn't pay me. Like, whether One Piece is successful or not monetarily does not affect my pockets. I just thought it was funny. That's a good point. Some people in the comment sections definitely think we're way more important than we are. You are more important than me though.
so funny, but I do think that in some respects it's a valid criticism. Why don't I talk more about the bad parts of Tower of God? The obvious answer is that I like the story, but even deeper than that, I'm somebody who, as a person, when it comes to anything, I'm usually very optimistic, like I mentioned. I'm somebody who likes to talk about...
This is the personal element I was talking about. He's just a generally more cheerful, optimistic person. And if you've met me, I'm not that. I don't think I'm a pessimist, and I would tell you I'm a realist. I don't see the water as half empty, or the glass of half empty, or the glass of half full. I think what it goes. I just see a glass of water, but as a result of that, I kind of at the whim of reality. So if something's bad happening, I gotta be negative. Something's good happening, I could be positive. But somewhere in the middle, I keep it even keeled.
The good, pretty much with anything, right? I always assume there's like a reason for something, or I assume that the author knows what they're doing, or there's a reason behind everything. So it's a lot harder for me to critique certain things. It makes me feel like, there's this natural part of me that's like, well, maybe this and maybe that, and it's a pretty normal thing. But even aside from that, it's just kind of who I am, right? And I love this story so much that I like to assume that there's always a reason behind everything. But no, there's no crazy reason. There's no person from Webtoon like breathing down my neck if I say something bad.
they watch it. They're like, you better not. No, I don't know. Obviously, if Webtoons is like that, I know some companies will do stuff like that. But from what I've understood with people that I know who are kind of Webtoon ambassadors, they seem to be pretty chill.
I say something is bad when I believe it's bad, right? I critique something when I think it should be critiqued. We're all different, and one of the beautiful parts about having like a Tower of God community, or just any story, or people in general, is that we all have different opinions about something. Two people can read a chapter of Tower of God and come away with a completely different experience or perspective. So
that's true. Absolutely.
Honestly, I think that's pretty exciting and cool. So if you watch my channel, you can get like a different perspective, usually a positive one, but it's not like that's my intention. It's not like I'm like, I need to always talk good. But that's usually the case. And then maybe other channels or other people in the comments are going to have a different perspective. That's all very obvious. But I also want to say that, hey, I am the first person, or one of the first, to say something is bad when I think it's bad. It's just that I genuinely don't believe it is. So for example, one of the worst things that ever happened in Tower of God was Chang's death. I think that was like...
Oh, I remember that, yeah. Gage. I just thought it was a strange decision. Yeah, I hear that. I feel it.
A monumental failure by SIU. Like, honestly, I have no idea why he chose to do that. Some people think it's not a big deal. I think it is. I could talk forever about Chang's death, but in my opinion, the excuse behind it, the way it was done, was like horrible. I think it was horrible storytelling. And that's not to say like SIU necessarily made a mistake. It's just that from my perspective, I was massively disappointed by how that was handled. So from my perspective, it shouldn't have been done that way. There are gonna be other people who don't care at all that Chang died. So we're all different here. Arya being revived by Bomb is something I haven't really talked about that much, but it shouldn't have happened, right? I think it would have been so much...
I kind of remember this because I actually remember a lot of your commenters coming to me like, steaks, then the next week, only one person I remember, they said I apologize for my comment last week. The rest of them never came back. And that's one thing that I'm not a fan of, because if you know something about me, look at some videos like my Liborg video where I was wrong about Yasiratra or something. The moment I'm wrong about something, frame one, I'm the first person to come on here, a stream or whatever, and tell you I was wrong. Y'all were right. You can cook me for that. You can roast me, because I believe in accountability.
Much more impactful if Arya was just beheaded right then and there, no resurrection. I understand that, like, oh, Bomb, like, copied her time ability, and, like, I don't really care. Like, from a story perspective, it sets up this precedent that if somebody gets beheaded, they can still be brought back, and I don't like that, personally. That ties into, like, the whole White and Bomb conflict, which I liked the character and storytelling aspects of it, but when it comes to the Kun and Rak getting White's powers, I hate that. I honestly didn't like that at all, because it didn't feel deserved at all. I get that you need to, like, power scale them up higher, but to me, it was very cheap. Like, they have no connection to White.
It's I think with you probably feel the way that I feel. It's not necessarily that them getting a power up in general is a bad thing. You just want it to be executed better.
They were just there at the very end and they happened to receive all this power. To me, I didn't like the writing in that scene either. Dang and Louis and Gato. I like the ending to that whole plot line, but the rest of it is like whatever. You know, there's a lot of aspects of just season 3. All the stuff I mentioned is just season 3, right? Another Kun fake out death, which is very annoying at this point. Or Liboric's squad being extremely underwhelming. Or maybe like the Nest, like too many bad guys died, but not enough good guys, right? Like whatever. I can come up with these points. And I'm not trying to like sort of be like, see, you're wrong. It's just an example of like, those are...
Sorry, that red filter, the voice scared me.
Things I genuinely think are not as good. You know, I don't think they are good, in fact, and I'm not afraid to talk.
Joe, I need that mix of Beneath the Mask, bro. That's the persona. I need that. It's moving me.
About that. So hopefully that kind of explains it. This isn't me. I'm not saying this because I'm being overloaded with negative comments. I actually think it's really, when I do see a comment like that, I think it's really funny. It's fun to talk about. That's why I'm not more critical. I'm not a person that is going to critique something when I think it's positive, right? When I genuinely think it's a good thing, I'm not going to critique it. I'm not faking anything. I'm here to talk about the story from how I see it. So yeah, that's my long-winded answer to why I'm not more critical. It's just who I am. Once again though, tons of people out there with tons of different perspectives, tons of different opinions, and I don't know why. I wish I was this like centerpiece to the entire Tower of God webtoon, like just the webtoon in general, and if the moment I mess up, like everything crashes. It's such a funny idea. I love it. Thanks for watching though. Hope you enjoyed. More content coming soon. Because we're on hiatus now, I want to know, what do you want me to talk about soon?
That was a really good video. And now I want to kind of give my spiel in the sense of like, you know, where I come from. So hopefully you're still listening. If you are, I appreciate it. I'll preface with this. I am wrong way more than I'm right. I'm not perfect. I don't think that I'm a genius. I know what I know. I have an approximate knowledge of many things, is one of my favorite lines from Adventure Time. Or I don't know everything. I know what I know. Hanekawa from Monogatari, right? I am a person who deeply studied storytelling by himself for a plethora of years. It is what I excelled at academically in school, because I'll be very honest with you, I was an athlete. Athletics is the thing that I excelled at, but when it came to academics, it's my ability to think critically that really got me through a lot of these things. I excelled at English, philosophy, the little bit of psychology stuff that I did do, writer's craft, mystery class. This is a class where we read a bunch of mystery novels, like a Sherlock Holmes stuff, and we deconstructed, like our media studies, film and literature. Like, when I have to put my brain to a narrative and extrapolate what it means, the themes, the references and allusions to real life, the big picture takeaway, the writing techniques used, the storytelling techniques used, this is something that I care about very, very intensely, very deeply, and is also something that I'm good at. It's what I excelled at for many years. I'm not good at math. I'm terrible at math. My history is awful. I am real life Zorro. I'm worse. I don't know how to get anywhere. I could get okay, maybe I'm worse because Zorro will get lost in a house. But my point is, I have tons of weaknesses, even academically. I know that. Some people have skills and abilities that I don't have. Maybe I can foster. For example, Joe, I think, has a really good memory. I think he remembers a lot of things in Tower of God just naturally. His ability to remember characters and certain content is amazing to me. I usually know about what chapter I can find it, so I can find the information quickly, but I genuinely have to double check. I also think Joe is extremely charismatic. He has that natural, like, personal ambience and glow that draw people toward him. I don't think I have that. I think anyone who listens to me is somebody who listens to me because maybe they like what I'm saying, not necessarily because of who I am as a person or human being or how I'm presented on screen. And lastly, he is a voice actor. I'd love to voice act, but I'm pretty sure I'm bad at it because I already know I'm not a good actor. I be laughing. I look at the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. I know I know what I'm good at, what I'm bad at. Now, I want to like emphasize this a lot because I just think it's the one piece so many people are missing. I believe the opposite of love is not hatred; it's indifference. That's a quote. I don't know who made it up, but it's a quote. I actually believe that. If I don't care about something, I don't talk about it. I don't think about it. It doesn't even occur to me as something important to be, like, again, pondering or speaking about. But the reason that I'm harsh on stuff like One Piece, like Tower of God especially, is because of how much joy it's brought me for a decade plus. I've been reading Tower of God for like 11 years, One Piece for like 16, 17. Like, these stories provided me with escapism when life was hard, gave me laughs and conversations and discourse that I can never like relive. Like, some of the most amazing conversations I've had were about Tower of God, and I've seen Tower of God as absolute best during the second season, and there's very few pieces of art and literature that I believe compare to Tower of God as best. I want that again. The reason that I'm so scathing on it sometimes is because I know what it's capable of. I know what its potential can be. And it frustrates me when I don't think it's measuring up to what it can be. It's like wasted latent talent and potential. And I think some people just think I'm a hater. And don't get me wrong, I play it up sometimes here and there, because here's the truth of the matter. I tested this. I haven't checked the numbers in those videos recently, so if you want to go check them now or watch them now, go ahead. But look at my video called The Best and Worst Fight of Tower of God and The Best and Worst Moment in Tower of God, and look at which one has more views. Which means the quote-unquote negativity is actually what you come for. And I'm always incentivized to put out the videos that you guys are going to watch. I don't like putting time and effort into a video that no one's going to watch or listen to. But for anybody who does take the time to do that, I'm very appreciative of you, and I see you all the time, and thank you for that. But again, like Joe said, he's a very positive individual. He's a very positive person. He's not a person who really likes to look at the negatives of things. I don't think that I'm a pessimist, but I'm a realist. And here's the thing. And me and him were not raised the same. Me and him don't come from the same. I could be. Joe, are you American? I think he's American. I'm pretty sure he's American. I'm not. I'm Canadian. My experiences here are different than his. This is not to make anything racial in any capacity, but I'm black.
What?
Being black, my life has been different. I've been hardened and steeled by things because of the way that I had to move and maneuver through life, because it's not as easy for me. This is not me trying. I'm not that guy. I don't like to play the race card. But the part of the matter is, me and him are different. Our values could be different. We could have been raised on different belief systems. Our tangibles are different. Our personalities are not the same. So he comes from this end of the spectrum. I come from what I believe is the middle. And if it's good or bad, I sway certain ways. And that's okay. And I think that should be okay. I don't think it's cool to stay in an echo chamber where you're only hearing bad things or good things or about something. I think you should always challenge your belief system. You think this product is the best product ever, and all you ever do is read articles and listen to articles about why that product is the best. I don't think you truly believe that product is the best. Listen to people who tell you that product is not good, and if you believe it's the best, after the end of all of their arguments, you should still believe what you believe. I'm trying to get people to think more, think deeper. Not just consume, because I think that makes you kind of a lazy parasite in the grand scheme of things. And let me not embellish this more than this. This is the webtoon. It's a webtoon. This is a graphic novel. It's not real. It's fiction. Okay? This is not gases, a job, whatever the case is, pollution, real things in the real world. It's just a book. And I'm just a dude with a channel. If you don't like me or like what I have to say about Tower of God, I will still appreciate you when you come and you listen, but you don't have to. There's no gun to your head making you have to watch or listen to what I'm saying. And a lot of you only engage with the Tower of God videos I put out very sparingly. You don't speak to me on Twitter. You don't speak to me on Discord. You don't come to the live chat in Twitch and kind of see me in my kind of natural element. Maybe not even Tower of God related. I'm just playing some video games. I'm talking about real life stuff with my pals or just whatever the case is. And I think you might maybe see me in a different light. I think a lot of people who came to the Twitch started to see more of my personality because they could see it in real time. It's not curated. It's not like edited or whatever the case is. It's just me on camera doing Naya things. And again, I'm a flawed human being. I'm not perfect. I make a plethora of mistakes every single day. But I care about storytelling and writing deeply because it's something that I excel at, I care about, and aspire to do at a really high level. I write all the time. I read all the time. My bookshelf is too full, and I read everything from different genres, from different languages, from different cultures, for different places in the world, languages that kind of all blends it together, but you know what I mean, like different mediums. You can absorb a story through a video game format, through graphic novel format, through a book format, through a light novel format, through a movie, through a show, cartoon, all of those things. So just kind of keep that in mind, I guess, when you're watching my content and you're seeing what I'm saying and stuff. I'm not just trying to be like, Tower God sucks, dunking it, blah blah. The day that I'm wrong about it, and SIU's been like on his P's and Q's for 3 years, oh my goodness, you guys can cook all these videos I've been making. Say you had a plan, you didn't believe, this, that, and the third, and I will take it like a man, because at the end of the day, you guys were right and I was wrong for not keeping that faith. I'm okay with that. I don't expect everyone to agree with me. All I've ever asked is if you disagree with something that I'm saying, do it respectfully and make a good case. A lot of you guys' arguments, I'm sorry, it's trash. It's not good. And a lot of you just say a lot of nasty things to me. You think it's going to hurt my feelings? When you guys call me the N-word or DM me some nasty stuff or tell me my channel is dead, it'll never grow, you're wasting your life and your time, you'll never blah, 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 this, and the third. I don't have the emotional regulation of a 4-year-old child, so you don't see me act out and rage out and act like a maniac. But I am actually extremely sensitive. It hurts my feelings. But I'm an adult. I'm a man. I gotta deal with it. But before I keep rambling, so Joe, good video. I wanted to make my case from my perspective on why I'm harsh on the things that I love. I'm also very harsh on the people that I love. I don't handhold the people that I love. This is just who I am in general. If there's a musician I love and I know you can put out better rap lyrics and you're putting out mid, I'm gonna come at you. It is what it is. You already know I gotta show love to the Patreon gang. Yes, sir. Shout out to the certified BAM lovers, my CBLs. Big love to the Priest of Fire. I greatly appreciate you guys' support, but especially shout out to my 5th Zen God. Shout out to Simi, Scobe, Revenant, Miles, Lucky Roo, Lazy Dragon, Chris, Johnny Rogers, Irene Sharda, Triss, David Langstaff, Childish Nujabes, Alan, AJ, Abdel, and 5:28 a.m. Your support is greatly appreciated, and thank you.